I don't need to pick them up later, but good.
Yeah.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Hi, and welcome to our Starting Solid show with Kyle and Dominica. I'm the community nutritionist.
I'm Rachel, I'm Kyle's mum.
And we've got...
I'm Sandra, I am the community chef.
Yay! So, guys, we are healthcare professionals, but we are certainly not really good actors. In fact, we are not any actors, so bear with us, but we will have fun trying to show you how to introduce solids to babies' foods. Okay, so Kyle, he looks like he's just about ready. How old is Kyle?
So he's 5.5 months.
Okay.
And I have not started offering him solids yet, but I was thinking that he was maybe showing some signs that he might be ready. So recently he's been waking up in the middle of the night, he's constantly putting his fist in his mouth, and I wasn't sure if that was the right signs to look out for.
Okay, I'm glad you asked. Actually, it's a good old granny's tales of a fist in the mouth. They want more milk, they're still hungry after a feed, and so on and so forth. So these are not scientific signs, unfortunately. But yep, you can't be blamed for thinking that because it looks like they want food, right? If you think that he's waking up from the night, he's still hungry after milk feed, but he's about 5 months, for example, still a bit too early to start introducing, so just introduce another milk feed. And I know the breastfeeding parents, please don't shoot me. I know it's difficult, yes, but try to delay it to as close to around 6 months, because that's the time we want to try to nail it. So the scientific signs, however, are, so as Kyle is sitting here, nice and straight up, so the head is unsupported, and they're still sitting in a high chair, but largely unsupported. That's the first thing. Secondly, that they can pick things off the ground usually, right? Because until you give the food, you won't know if you like the food, but you need to have something to go by. So it'll be usually toys, things, and they can put it in their mouth as opposed to your ear or his nose where he went before, right? Okay, does it sound like...
Yeah, right, great. So really, he's holding the head up now, and he's able to pick things up and move it around his face, but maybe not his mouth. I'll wait until 6 months. So that's great. Okay, brilliant. And obviously, so he is having milk just now. Is that enough for him in terms of nutrition till 6 months?
Good point indeed. So milk has been obviously their food until now, and they will continue for a little while longer. So milk, absolutely, it is their food until around 6 months. However, milk is still going to continue, I know I'm waffling on a bit, but it's still going to continue to be the food whilst you start introducing actual food, solid foods, which will be more for playing with at the beginning. So we say, don't like mess, don't play with food. Let this go out of the window. It's exactly what you want to let them to do. Lots of mess, be prepared, get the best frocks off, get the mat on the floor, and get yourself ready. Just no distractions like telly and stuff like this. Music, background music is fine, but just trying face-to-face, engaging with them.
Okay. And what sort of things, Sandra, should I be starting with to give Kyle when I do start weaning?
So I am so glad you asked me that, Rachel, because I've got my cooker and I've got some stuff that I'm going to demonstrate for you. And it's such an easy process. You're only starting off with maybe just one, fruit or vegetables, one food a day, and they're only going to take 2 spoonfuls to begin with. So choose a nice time that it's nice and quiet, and you've got time to sit down and try the food with your baby. It's going to be well mashed or a finger food that you're going to start with first. Okay, and as I said, vegetables and fruit are just perfect. So you're wanting to cook the vegetables, and I'm going to be using broccoli. So it's good to introduce the less sweeter taste first, because maybe your baby is used to the sweet taste from the breast milk or formula.
So broccoli before banana?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So anything that's less sweeter than a fruit, maybe like cauliflower or something, then try and introduce that first, and just get some used to that less sweet taste. So we'll get started. So I'm just going to put my cooker on. I'm just going to put some broccoli and some hot water. So easy. You don't need to be Nigella Lawson in the kitchen.
Even though, if you don't mind me saying so, Sandra looks like our Nigella Lawson, hey?
Of course. So just keep it really easy. We're using real foods. We're not spending a lot of money And all we're doing is putting some broccoli in a pot of water, so anybody can do that.
And am I allowed to add like salt or flavourings or anything to foods? What do you recommend here?
So definitely not. So that's probably the key message that you want to take away today is we're not adding any salt, we're not adding any sugar, we're not adding any honey to your baby's foods. So the salt's not good for your baby's kidneys, the sugar's not good for the baby's teeth coming in,
Right, okay.
and the honey's got a harmful bacterium that so honey should be avoided before 12 months because it can be very harmful to a baby.
And will the food without those flavourings taste okay for them then? Is that going to...
Yeah, we get asked that a lot when we're doing, the demonstrations in the starting solids fairs. And, a baby's taste buds are so brand new, they're brand new human beings. So, everything is just an explosion of flavours in their mouth. So you definitely don't need any sugar, salts, gravies, stocks or anything like that.
Great.
You don't need that.
Can I ask, what about other flavourings? So you later mentioned other flavourings, so things like herbs and spices.
Yeah, so herbs and spices is totally fine, even things like ginger, different, you can flavour your food in different ways using different vegetables and
Just no salt and sugar.
Just no salt and sugar, just
Okay.
keep it all nice and natural.
And can I also just check, at 6 months, do I need to sterilise the equipment I'm going to feed Kyle with? So like the bowls and the spoons and things?
Good point. So that brings me to say it's so much easier, guys, to wait around 6 months because
right.
you don't need to do that. So a bit less work to do and you've got plenty to
Yes.
do, haven't you? So no sterilization of equipment. However, still the baby's bottles do need to be sterilized.
Okay.
However you're feeding them. If you're using baby's bottles, you don't need to boil and cool down the water straight from the tap. Mineral water is not recommended, in fact, either. Straight from the tap into one of these messy cups, the one that spills, folks. The one that spills. So you only be putting water in there. And thirdly, it's no longer needing to blend anything either. Did I say that already? No. Yeah, so you're no longer needing to blend anything. You're starting with well-mashed food.
Okay, great. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm using frozen. I don't know whether you've thought about what types of food that you're going to use, but frozen fruit and veg is really good. So I'm using frozen broccoli. And you can also use tin products as well.
Brilliant.
So if you are using tin products, if you're using fish, for example, just make sure it's not in brine, because brine's got a lot of salt in it.
Okay.
So go for oil or water. And tin fruit, it's not a great option, and just make sure it's in its own fruit juice.
Good,
So that's quite good if you're travelling or if you're, you've not got anything fresh in, you can use
Good,
whatever you have.
good. So it sounds like I'm going to wait till 6 months because that is going to be easier. It sounds as though he is probably not too far away from being ready. And it also sounds like I am going to just use very basic normal foods instead of baby foods, and we'll see how that goes. Am I okay to come back and ask for some more advice? Are you having any more videos or any more cookery sessions?
Yep, we're going to have a whole series of videos. So we've got 7 videos.
Absolutely.
We're going to have lots of different
Brilliant.
recipe ideas,
Brilliant.
and lots of different advice. So
Brilliant.
Yes.
Right,
stay,
Kyle.
stay with us, guys. But I'd just like to just interject quickly before we finish off. Sandra mentioned earlier about fish and oily fish, and so I think she mentioned about fish. So it brings me on to thinking a lot of people associate oily fish with vitamin D. Quite rightly so. I don't know if you've thought about any vitamins or anything yet.
No, not yet.
Okay. Really important, guys, to remember about vitamin D supplements for babies, and breastfeeding moms should continue to take the tablets. So when your baby is being breastfed, it's from 1 month to 5 years. It's every day, 5 drops. No, 5 drops, forget that. So that, and for breast formula fed babies is when they are dropping back down to about 500 mils of formula. Really important vitamins. So there is no diet will supply enough vitamins. None of your little fortified products are aimed at babies and children either. So we get it from the sun, but we live where? In not so sunny Scotland. Okay. So
our broccoli is now cooked.
Excellent.
So
Perfect.
we just need to take it out. We're going to mash it with a fork, or you can have it as a finger food. Did you say that? No, don't think we did. Yep, so your baby can hold it in their hand. If it's a finger food, they can take it up to their mouth, or even if it's mashed. The good thing about using real foods, you're always got that texture, so the baby's able to sort of pick wee bits up from their high chair. So it makes a good wee finger food, but also you can also use a spoon as well.
Perfect. And you mentioned, Sandra, finger foods, right?
Mhm.
So that brings us to saying, actually, remember to start introducing finger foods as well.
Okay.
And I don't know if you want to ask about the baby led weaning.
Yep, so I'm just looking at the time.
Yeah, so baby led eggs, yeah, so you asked about that, but finger foods, really important to remember to start. We'll talk more details in our videos to come, so stay with us.
And lastly, I had read online about baby-led weaning. Is that something that you recommend?
Good old internet, eh? So, yes, there is such thing. However, in NHS, we go by science and by the best evidence there is. So, unfortunately, there just isn't enough evidence to sustain for us to bring it in as a whole. However, we've done a clever thing and we've pinched the idea of the finger foods being introduced to baby and baby feeding themselves, as well as you feeding with the spoons. And remembering the milk being still the main food. For quite a few months still, it provides a lot more nutrients. So that little spoonful of a carrot or potato or whatever you're giving, it's never going to have as many calories and nutrients as the milk does.
Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
So,
okay, Kyle, I think that sounds like we're ready to go in the next couple of weeks.
fantastic.